aquí el intérprete español, dándonos instrucciones para que puedan utilizar el servicio de interpretación. So I'm going to be guiding guys on how to use interpretation features that we have available. At the lower part of your screens, you will see a globe-like icon where it says interpretation. You can go ahead and click on that and it will give you the option to select the language of preference. Si ven en sus pantallas en la parte inferior, van a ver un globo que parece un mundito, donde ustedes pueden seleccionar su idioma de preferencia. Ya una vez que lo seleccionen, solo pongan done y listo. So once you have selected your interpretation of preference, then the language of preference, then you can just click on done. También tenemos el servicio de perdón, si están en un dispositivo iPhone, también pueden tener la opción de seleccionar su idioma de preferencia. Si hacen clic en los tres puntitos, van a ver Language Interpretation y van al segundo paso que es seleccionar su idioma y listo. So if you have an iPhone or Android, you can go to the three dots and select your language of preference as well and just click Done once you have selected it. So please note, Zoom interpretation does not work if your app is not updated, you are using a Chromebook, or you are calling into the meeting. Nota, la interpretación por Zoom no funciona si su aplicación no está actualizada o está usando un Chromebook o llamó al número para ingresar a la reunión. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. We can start the interpretation now. Great. Thank you all for being here this morning. A couple notes before we begin. This webinar is over capacity and overflow has been directed to a YouTube stream. In order to make sure everyone is able to participate, we are using a Google form to collect questions rather than the Zoom Q&A feature. If you are on Zoom, the link will be in the chat. If you are on YouTube, it will be a pinned comment. You may be able to raise your hand, but we will only be taking questions and comments on the form. We want to let you know that though they are not presenting today, we have Evan Cohen and Janet Scully from the Department of Public Health's Office of Environmental Justice and Climate Health available to answer any remaining questions you have about cleanup, as well as we're hoping to have Christina Alvarado from the Child Care Alliance of Los Angeles as well. We are also open to receiving questions and comments not related to the speakers today so that the response team knows what is on your mind, though we may not have answers immediately. The slides from this meeting, as well as a recording, will be available later today or tomorrow at the website on the screen, childcare.lacounty.gov/resources/#fire. We will also have the presentations translated and posted as soon as possible. With that, I will turn it over to Deborah Coleman, Director of the LA County Office for the Advancement of Early Care and Education.
Thank you, Jamie. Good morning, everyone. We're here again, standing in solidarity with you for another week. And this week, I feel our theme is about finding our footing. Many of us have been experiencing significant trauma during the last few weeks as an impact of the fire. But now, hopefully, as a community, we are finding our footing in this new place and able to move forward. We want to begin our webinar today, first of all, by thanking all of our partners for the LA County Early Care and Education Emergency Response Team for the 2025 wildfires. So our partners, to make sure they're always acknowledged and we extend our wholehearted gratitude to them, include the LA County Office of Education, the Department of Public Health, especially the Office for the Advancement of Early Care and Education, as well as our partners in environmental health. The Child Care Alliance of Los Angeles, SEIU Local 99, also known as Child Care Providers
Hi,
United.
Deborah.
Yeah,
Excuse me, sorry, we're having a little trouble with the interpretation. If you could pause for just one moment.
will do. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Amy. Okay. Hopefully we can catch up with interpretation. City of Santa Monica, City of Los
Oh,
Angeles.
sorry, Deborah. It's that it hasn't been enabled. It's not that you're going
Oh,
quickly.
okay. Hold on, guys. We're gonna wait a moment. We've got some interpretation challenges, and so we'll wait for our team to catch up. All right, it looks like we're getting close. I feel like we've got a thumbs up on
It is ready to go.
interpretation. All right. And that is how one does emergency response. Things don't always go the way you anticipate that they will go, and you're flexible and you kind of go with it. So glad to have everybody with us today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. As we join together in recovering from the 2025 emergencies, I want to thank all of our early care and education community that are here with us today. Our child care centers, our family child care homes, our family, friends, and neighbors, our systems leaders, our advocates, we are all standing here working in solidarity with you. As we find our footing, just want to take a moment to acknowledge our early care and education emergency response team for the LA County wildfires of 2025, including the LA County Office for the Advancement of Early Care and Education. Department of Public Health is where that office lives. The LA County Office of Education, our partners at the Child Care Alliance of Los Angeles, SEIU Local 99, also known as Child Care Providers United, the cities of Santa Monica, City of Los Angeles, and City of Pasadena, and of course, all of our resource and referral agencies, especially those that are in the fire zones, Options for Learning, Connections for Children, as well as the Child Care Resource Center. And finally, one of our core partners and one of our alternative payment agencies, Drew Child Development, who you'll be meeting on this call today. So as we're finding our footing and we are in a place of recovery, which is where we are focusing today, I want to make sure that we have some of that key disaster information shared. So I hope everyone knows and has accessed, if needed, or shared this information with families where our FEMA disaster recovery centers are. So for the Palisades fire, UCLA Research Park West on Pico Boulevard is a key place to get a multitude of resources for families. And Pasadena City College Community Education Center on Foothill Boulevard, really serving all of our folks impacted by the Eaton Canyon fire. Also, emergency resources are available at lacounty.gov/relief. This has really a coordination of multitude of efforts that are put onto one page. It's kind of your one-stop shop for a wildfire recovery. Also, be sure and reach out to the FEMA helpline if you need assistance. That can be reached at 1-800-621-3362. Also, you can go to disasterassistance.gov to access information. There will be business loans coming out and support from the Federal Business Association, so Small Business Association. So that's really important to know. We hope to have someone on our next community call speak to what federal assistance is coming specifically for our childcare community, especially those who have lost their business during the fire or need help in damage for their business. Okay, hopefully we are all finding our footing today and able to access many resources to support us. So moving on to the next slide, we would like to share information about what is coming up next for support that is really focused on our early care and education community. So we have some support hubs for early care and education that will be launching in a few different communities. The first one that will be stood up is at Pacific Oaks College. We are very grateful to our partners at Pacific Oaks, as well as our partners to Options for Learning, which serves as the resource and referral agency for that community. So why do we have a sector-specific hub for all of our early care and education providers? We have this really so you can have a safe space to come join together with other providers, to access materials that you need for cleanup, and to be able to be supported. So supplies currently that will be at the site that we have accessed include masks to help with cleanup, so N95 masks, cleanup materials for your early care and education facility, trash bags, gloves, disinfecting wipes, booties for your shoe, coveralls, I believe we have, a multitude of resources. Because now that we've taken a breath and we're ready to go back and get everything cleaned up, we want to make sure you have the tools to be able to do that. And we're pleased to announce our most requested item of air purifiers. So air purifiers hopefully will be delivered out to Pasadena before the weekend. And although we still don't have a firm start date, it may be as early as Saturday or as late as Monday, and everyone who is on this call will be sure to get an email sharing when Pacific Oaks will be open and ready to receive you and where you can actually access materials. Additional early care and education support hubs and pop-up events will be announced next week for both the Palisades area and the Hearst fires. So there will be more support, really, that will be localized so that you can access the materials needed sooner rather than later. I also know that our partners from Community Care Licensing are planning some events and information sessions as well. So I want to welcome our partner in all of this work from the state and the California Department of Social Services. So please really give a warm Los Angeles welcome to Christopher Jackson, who's here to share with us some news of what's going on at the state and how they're going to help.
Thank you for that, Deborah. Very much appreciated. What I'd like to do with y'all today is we're just going to provide some updates as to some of the standing situations the department is currently looking at, what we're reviewing, and some of the action steps we're looking to move forward with. As Deborah just pointed out, we are working with some of our R&R or resource and referral departments in the greater LA area to begin setting up what we call community workshops. This is where we want to put an analyst or an LPA at this event in order for home providers, daycare center providers to discuss waivers or flexibility requests with an analyst and learn the steps or tips that they need to take in order to receive the waiver for any type of exceptions. Homes, we really want to encourage, if there's something that you're looking to do to support the community that goes outside of the regular licensing regulations, please reach out to your RO and have that conversation with your LPA. See what waivers might be available for you in order to provide that support for your community. In addition, we are going to be revamping our disaster webpage. The goal with this is to really put quick access links for providers in a row. So if you're looking for fire understanding, cleaning guidance in here, we really want to organize these links so that providers are able to go on the webpage and access them in an orderly and organized fashion. Our goal is to have that up and running by the end of this week, which it's already Thursday, so by tomorrow, but there will be some steps that need to be taken in this process. Additionally, the PIN related to waivers and flexibilities is still under review, but it will be coming out soon. We really want to make sure that the information provided in the PIN is meeting our providers' needs and understanding the scenarios or situations that you are facing on a daily basis. So please, once that PIN has been released, the department will send out the notification and you're able to access it and review any waivers or flexibilities that might be afforded to your program at that time. Lastly, we are reviewing information related to health and safety cleaning or protocols with CAL FIRE, CDPH, and I know Deborah and I will be connecting later as well to discuss how the department can help better organize or provide insight for our community, our provider community, to understand the steps that need to be taken to cleaning the facility before they reopen. Ideally, the department is really asking this at this time. If you have cleaned the facility and you feel that you're ready to reopen and welcome children back, please ensure that it is ready to go. It is the facility's responsibility to make sure that a deep cleanse has been done and that there is nothing left harmful in that building that may create an issue. Parents can really be one of the cruxes in this case, not as a bad, but a parent might return back to the facility, not have a same level or understanding of preparedness, and potentially reach out to the department to inquire if this facility is ready. So we really are asking, as you're getting ready to reopen, please take that time to ensure walking through each and every area, noting that it's ready for children to be back in and that it does look safe. Those are the updates I have for you today. We'll continue to provide updates next week with additional information as we move forward. Deborah, I'm going to pass it back to you.
I'm actually going to jump in 1 second. Thank you,
You got it.
Christopher. We're getting some reports that our interpretation feature isn't working. We've tried turning it off and on a few times, but the audio is not coming through.
Okay.
What we can offer at this time, and Amato, if you could turn the interpretation off so one of our Spanish interpreters can repeat what I'm saying. There is a closed caption interpretation option. You should be able to see a little box that says CC in your Zoom menu that says show captions. And you can click on the arrow next to that, and there's an option to turn on translation and select the language that you would like to see the captions in. If one of our interpreters can repeat that in Spanish, please.
Buenos días. Estamos teniendo un poquito de complicación con la interpretación en español. Si desean, pueden recibir la interpretación. Si van a la parte inferior, hay una opción donde dice CC. Ahí pueden seleccionar el idioma y van a poderlo ver en escrito, la interpretación que se va a estar proveyendo para ustedes. Gracias.
Thank you. We really apologize for this, and we'll make sure that we have all the materials available in Spanish as soon as possible. Okay, Deborah, back to you.
Thank you, Jamie. And once again, this is an emergency time, and we are so grateful for our partners at First 5 LA that are really trying to problem solve real time, not only to respond to the emergency on the ground, but sometimes it's about simply making sure that we're getting information that are in the appropriate languages to our communities that are most impacted. So thank you to everyone at First 5 LA for navigating this and for providing this wonderful platform and support through translation. So we are grateful for all of you. And big thanks to Christopher Jackson at the California Department of Social Services. Thank you so much, Christopher, for all of the information. It is so good to hear that licensing analysts are going to be out and able to answer folks' questions. And if you did not have a chance to hear what Christopher shared, really focusing on the fact that there will be licensing analysts that can help you navigate if you need waivers during this time, that will be out there and placed at, did you say resource and referral agencies?
We are partnering with some of the resource and referral agencies in the
Wonderful.
area, as well as community events that are popping up.
And community events. So we'll make sure as the ECE emergency response team that we get everybody the information on this call on where they can access support from the California Department of Social Services and really understand what opportunities are available for them to become fully operational. So thank you so much, Christopher. All right. Now, one of the partners that I mentioned that are a part of our early care and education emergency response team actually are staff at our alternative payment agency that is not directly impacted by the fire, but this is a community that is really reaching out and coming to respond to everyone. So our partners at Drew Child Development are here with us today. So first, we were in the middle of really the emergency at hand. We're in week 3 now. So hopefully this will give us a second to catch our breath, to really get centered in how to move forward. So I'm pleased to share that this is a little bit for all of us on the call to get centered and a taste of some of the workshops that are going to be available to our ECE community as we move forward into this recovery together. So I'm going to turn it over to Jose Ortiz and from Drew Child Development, who's going to help us take a breath and work on coping exercises for stress relief during a difficult time. Jose, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Deborah. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jose. I am the Trauma-Informed Training Coordinator at Drew Child Development Corporation. And I also have joining me today via the chat, Diana Walker, who's our Trauma-Informed Care Program Manager here at Drew CDC. And you'll be hearing from her in the chat as we move forward today. I really want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. We recognize that this is a challenging time for many, and we want you all to know that your well-being is our top priority, and we're here to support in any way that we can. This portion of the session is designed to create a safe and supportive space where you'll learn some coping skills to help regulate yourself and the children and families that you serve. Next, we'll review some general reminders and agreements that can help us to create a safe and supportive space. First, this portion of the session will be 20 minutes long. That being said, take care of yourself as needed during our 20 minutes together. Step away, grab water. Just take a moment for yourself if necessary. Sensitive topics may be discussed and may come up during our discussion. Please engage in a way that feels safe for you. Participation is highly encouraged, right? Practicing these exercises now will really help you get the most out of our time together, but also feel free to participate at your own comfort level and what feels comfortable for you. The activities and strategies that we're looking to provide today are intended to serve as tools for managing traumatic or stressful events, but are not a substitute for professional mental health care, right? As we mentioned, your well-being is very, very important to us, and seeking help is a positive step towards maintaining that mental and emotional health. So if you feel that you need additional support, please consider visiting some of the resources that we're going to be sharing in the chat throughout this workshop and towards the end of our workshop. One very important reminder that's really important to take into consideration as we move through our exercises today that include breathing is that with the ongoing wildfire situation in LA County, it's really important to be mindful of the air quality, right? Smoke and pollutants in the air can affect your breathing. So please use caution when you're engaging in our deep breathing exercise. If you're in an area with poor air quality, if you're outside, it's best to avoid deep inhalations that could worsen any respiratory discomfort or distress. And I mean during this session now, or when you're looking to do these for yourselves outside of the session and with the children and families that you're working with. These techniques are intended to help manage stress, but in situations with compromised air quality, your health and safety come first. So please keep that in mind as we move forward today and as you practice these outside of this session. That being said, today we're going to demonstrate a couple of 3 different exercises for you today designed to support self-regulation and to build resilience. The exercises will center around breathing and breath work. So inhalation, exhalation, and practicing focused breathing to calm, our minds and our bodies during stressful events. And we'll also have some exercises that are body-based, meaning that we're really going to tune into our bodies through muscle relaxation and through tapping to also promote that relaxation and a sense of calm. You may be asking yourself, you may be wondering how tapping, breathing, all these other different things can even help us feel calm or help with stress. And we can move to the next slide. But besides just breathing normally, these specific techniques can make a big difference. When we face stressful events, our body shifts into a fight, flight, or freeze mode, right? Which can really cause a lot of different physical reactions, like a racing heartbeat, right? Really shallow breathing and stomach aches. As a result, different challenges can arise and decision-making certainly becomes harder, right? We can see challenging behaviors arise in children and adults, right? Who tend to react reflexively instead of thoughtfully, which can make it really hard to respond to a situation or even just process a situation that's occurring, right? These breathing exercises can help restore that balance by reconnecting the emotional parts of our brain and the thinking, the thought parts of our brain. It can also really help anchor us to the present moment, to right now, and also just generally reduce stress and anxiety. So keep that in mind as we're moving throughout today. Next, we're going to try these 3 different self-regulation exercises. I'm going to model them for us. We'll start with bumblebee breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and round off with tapping so that you can find the one that helps you feel calm, and then you can find the one that you would like to share with others. That being said, we are going to start with an exercise just about breathing, which is a really important foundational coping skill that can help set the stage for some of the other things that we're going to do and are included in the other things that we're going to do. So I'm going to describe this breathing exercise for you, and then we'll go through it together, and I'll invite you to do it with me 3 times. And that's how we'll move forward with this exercise. So for bumblebee breathing, you inhale very deeply through your nose, right? Pretending to smell a really nice flower. And you hold that. You can close your eyes if that's something that you're comfortable with. You can also keep them open if you want to look at your imaginary flower. And then as you exhale, you make a buzzing sound like a bee. So those are the instructions. I'm going to invite you to join me as I guide you through it 3 times. So inhale very deeply through your nose, pretending to smell that flower. And as you exhale, make that buzzing noise or a humming noise. Bzzz, very deeply and long. You can close your eyes if you'd like, if you feel comfortable. Breathe in, smelling that flower, and out with that bumblebee buzz. Bzzz. One more time, breathing in. And doing that very big exhale out with that buzz. Bzzz. And there's an alternative version in the chat that you can work through with children where you flap your bumblebee wings and all those sorts of things. But one thing that I appreciate about this exercise is that the humming during the exhalation is an additional sort of support to calm that nervous system. So really think about where you were feeling that humming. You may have felt the humming in your neck area, in your chest, but all of that is working to calm our brains and our bodies and really helps focus the mind and regulate the body to bring that sense of calm. So as we move into progressive muscle relaxation, notice if you felt any different just from the bumblebee breathing before we move forward. Think about, did that bring a sense of calm? Where do you feel that sense of calm, if any? This exercise that you should see on your screen now is progressive muscle relaxation, which helps shift our body from that stress response to a relaxed state. It involves getting really, really tense. So tensing up our bodies intentionally and then releasing that tension and calming our muscles, right? And typically you work your way up from one part of your body all the way to the other, or you can work your way from the top downward, right? So those you can do either of those, whichever feels comfortable for you. For today, we'll start down at the bottom. And for this exercise, we'll go through this twice together, and I'll just invite you to follow along to the sound of my voice, to use the instructions that are written on the screen as I guide us through this exercise. So, and as we're moving through this exercise, focus on how it feels for each part of your body to tense up, and then at the very end, what it feels like to have that release. All right, so if you're ready, you can do like a little shakeout to get your body ready. But if you're ready and able, we're gonna start by scrunching up your toes, right? If you're wearing shoes, you can feel those toes scrunching up against the bottom of your shoes, or if you're barefoot, you can feel that against the floor. And then begin to squeeze the muscles in your legs, squeezing that calf, squeezing your legs really tight, tightening your belly, really squeezing that belly and that abdomen, squeezing the muscles in your arms really tight, and making a fist with both of your hands as tight as you can. And then scrunch your face, squeeze your eyes shut as tight as you can. Take a deep breath in. Hold that. And then as you exhale, slowly release all of that tension, feeling that sensation of letting go. And let's walk through that one more time. So begin by scrunching up your toes really tightly. Don't give yourself a foot cramp, but squeeze them as tight as you can. Moving into your calf area, squeezing that as tight as you can. Up into the upper part of your leg, squeezing that, right? Squeezing your abdomen and your belly, squeezing the muscles in your arms, making those really tight fists, right? Scrunching up your face and tightening those eyes. Take a big exhale. Let's hold this one a little bit longer. And let go slowly. And you can open your eyes, bring yourself back to the present moment, and feel if there's a difference in how you're feeling, if certain parts of your body feel so much better than the others. I know for me, tightening that belly really helps my back feel great, and there's usually a lot of tension in my back area. And it feels really great after doing this exercise. So feel where that benefit is for you. If it's all over, fantastic. If it's in certain areas, then those are maybe some of the areas that you're looking to pay attention to moving forward. All right. Great. So next, we're going to move into a different type of exercise that may be new for a lot of you that is really, really helpful. It's called tapping, right? As we move into tapping, think about the difference in how you felt for bumblebee breathing, now how you feel from progressive muscle relaxation, and how you feel right before we do this other different exercise called tapping, which is a self-regulation technique designed to manage the immediate emotional and stress reactions that you're having. Tapping involves gently stimulating specific points on your body to promote relaxation, reduce stress, and enhance emotional balance. You will use 2 fingers, right, or 1 for smaller areas, or 1 if 1 finger feels more comfortable for you. But you'll do a tapping motion, gently but firmly, right? Whatever is most comfortable for you, whatever feels comfortable for you. If you like a little bit more stimulation, you can do that a little bit harder. If you like things a little bit more softly, but still feeling that sensation of that tap. I'm going to guide us through the step-by-step instructions using my voice. You can also refer to the graphics on the screen. Really focus on your breath as we're doing this exercise. Stay as present as you can throughout the sequence. And we're going to follow along to my voice, and I'll do some counting. I'll count to 10 for each area so that you know when we're going to get ready to move forward. And for those of you when we're tapping in the face who have glasses like myself, I'm going to lift them up so that I can show you exactly where. If you're willing and able to take them off, you can do so you can tap those areas. But for myself, I'm going to lift them up and just do one side. But it is highly encouraged to do both of those sides if you can. But alas. Great. All right. So before we begin, maybe do some wiggling, do some stretching, wiggle those fingers because they're going to do a lot of work as we go through this exercise. And get ready to begin. And again, focus on your breath. You can close your eyes if that's what feels comfortable for you. And here we go. All right, so first we're going to use 2 fingers to tap the outer side of the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we're going to move to the inner edge of the eyebrows closest to the bridge of that nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to move right between the eye and the temple and tap with those 2 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to bring those down right under the eye in line with the pupil and tap using those 2 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we're going to move with one hand and tap under the nose using those 2 fingers or that 1 finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to go right on that chin and tap with 2 fingers or 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to move to this hard ridge right between your collarbone right here. And we're going to tap there on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And next, you can choose which arm feels most comfortable for you. We're going to lift up and we're going to tap right, not on the armpit, but right under that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now moving on to focusing on our fingers. We're going to start with our pinky finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, we're going to move to the ring finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, we'll tap on that middle finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then on the inside of that index finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then on the outside of that thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And lastly, back to the ridge between that collarbone. So right here in the chest area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to take 2 long, deep breaths, as deep as you can. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. All right. And as we move forward, bringing ourselves back, recognizing where felt the best, how we're feeling now. And typically, it would be nice to pair that with some music today. Unfortunately, we didn't have that capability, but some music can help with that as well, so that we're also focusing in on that breath and also pairing that with some sort of sound. Great, let's see here. Awesome. So you may be asking yourself now how to use these different exercises, and we can move forward to the next slide. How can I use these exercises? I'm feeling great. I had a favorite, right? They all felt great for me. How do I use them moving forward? So first, you can teach them proactively, practice them regularly, introduce them during calm moments so that you build that familiarity, right? Practice them regularly in the morning, at lunch, right before bedtime. Tapping helps a lot with sleep right before bedtime, and make it part of your routine, right? That sets a foundation for really being able to use them when you're feeling stressed, because it can come easier. Also use them in stressful times, right? When you or the families that you work with, the children that you work with, start to feel overwhelmed, or notice some of those signs of a fight or flight response. Notice that racing heart. Notice that shallow breathing. Notice that sort of stomach ache that sort of came out of nowhere. And gently remind yourself or others, let's try some of these coping strategies. Let's take some bumblebee breaths, right? One important thing to mention is that coping isn't about dismissing or changing emotions. It's about helping the body to stay present and process those emotions in a way that reduces the escalation, right? Helps us feel grounded and promotes healthy responses, right? For you, right? First and foremost, and then the folks that you're supporting, the children and families that you're supporting. Great. So I'll encourage you, think of these questions to yourself, right? And as you're doing these exercises with others, ask them to think about these questions and have a discussion. All right, which of these coping exercises was your favorite? Was there one that made you feel the best, right? The one that you liked the best, the one that you know will work with the children and families that you work with. During which exercise did you notice a physical change in your body, right? Where did you notice that physical change? And what differences did you observe in your body before and after completing the exercises? Before we started all three and after we started our three, or before we did a specific one? So think about those questions to yourself. And hopefully that helps you see that value and also have these conversations with the folks that you're supporting. Lastly, I really want to say thank you. Thank you again for being here today, for spending this 20 minutes with me. If you have any questions, we'll stick around for the Q&A. Please, visit that link in the chat so that we can answer any questions that you have. We look forward to continuing this work with you, and you can do so by visiting our website, the other resources that we're posting in the chat, as well as TIC support through our resource and referral partners that have been mentioned all day throughout today. Thank you again. And I am going to pass it back over to Jamie, I believe, to get us started on the Q&A. Thank you, or Deborah. There's Deborah. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Jose. I really appreciated that. And I know this is exactly what our early care and education community needs as we're coping with the stresses present in our lives right now. So thank you so much. Jose, can I ask you really quick to share what is coming up and what is Drew going to be making available for our ECE field next week?
That is a great question. Thank you, Deborah. So we'll be having webinars and workshops similar to this one. So we'll have live webinars where a trainer is guiding you through some of these exercises and demonstrating these exercises for you all to use with the children and families that you support. And we'll also have some pre-recorded videos, right? Some asynchronous videos going through the same sorts of exercises, but that you can watch sort of at your own pace and that you can use moving forward, right? Even if you're unable to attend the live session.
That's great to know. And we'll make sure we get all of that information out to everyone who's been on any of our community calls as soon as we have it. So thanks so much. I know Jamie has been really watching and evaluating and assessing all these questions that have been coming in. So, Jamie, what questions do you have for not only our speakers today, but also our team from Environmental Health at the Department of Public Health, or for Christina Alvarado, who's always also on the call from the Child Care Alliance?
Thanks, Deborah. So I am actually going to call on our DPH friends. We have some environmental cleanup questions. This is something that we had on our last call. We know a lot of you have been working really hard on getting your spaces clean, but there are still a lot of questions that are coming up for folks. So I see Evan has joined me. Thank you, Evan. We are getting lots of questions about sandboxes and how to clean sandboxes, as well as how to know if you need to clean your sandbox.
I think we just lost Evan. I'm not sure. Oh, wait, Evan's back, and so is Janet. Hi, Janet.
Hi, I'm not sure. I know Evan's in the field, so I'm not sure if he's stuck. But for sand, it's really evaluating if there's ash or, debris in the sandbox. That would be like a number one indicator. But ultimately, if you have any question that the sandbox may have been impacted by the fires, the sand should just be replaced. And I know there is an FAQ in progress, and we have included some guidance about sandbox cleanup and removal of the sand. So, and the sand just needs to be put in a strong plastic bag, probably multiple plastic bags, depending on how big the sandbox is, and just disposed of in the trash.
Thank you, Janet. Should I wait until Evan is back on, or can I continue asking you some questions?
I think you can move on. Yeah, knowing he's in the field, he'll
Okay.
hop back on when he can.
Perfect. So we're getting questions of how do we know when it's safe to let children go outside? What indicators should we be looking at?
Yeah, so we did definitely touch on this when we presented last week. So there are a couple of things to be on the lookout for. One, the Air Quality Management District, they have air quality maps on their website, and we can make sure that you have the links to all of those things. But you can look on AQMD's website. They kind of color code the different areas on the map depending on, what the air quality is for that day. If it's green or yellow, it's probably okay for kids. If you see orange or red or purple or deep red on the map, probably want to stay indoors with kids and keep the windows closed. I'm just speaking very broadly and generally. We're learning that, the air quality index doesn't necessarily pick up, ash and debris that may be kicked up. And so you also just need to be really alert and pay attention. If you smell smoke, if you see particles in the air, those are also indicators that, you shouldn't have kids outside.
Thank you. And we know that last week you all shared a lot of information about how to clean both outdoor and indoor areas. Do you have any advice as far as when those sort of remediation tasks should be done? Like how far from a fire should you be thinking about cleaning indoor and outdoor fully?
This is a great question, and we've kind of been talking internally because, some of our messaging is very broad, right? But we know there are different levels of impact, right? There are some people who are pretty far out who, yeah, I mean, they may have gotten a tiny bit of ash here and there. And then there are other people who are going to need to do deep cleaning. There are other people whose structures may be partially, severely damaged. So there are all these different levels. But I would say, generally speaking, if you don't have a lot of damage to either the home or the center, I would just do kind of a thorough cleaning, to ensure that there's no dust on the surfaces, there's no ash particles, either indoors or outdoors. Check the playground equipment. Make sure you have, PPE on, you've got your mask on, you've got some goggles on, you've got some gloves on. long sleeves, we kind of talked about that also. And really do just like a really thorough scan of the area and clean where you see any ash or debris.
Thank you. We got a question about the Hughes fire. They said that there was an AQMD smoke advisory, but LA County did not have an advisory. Can you talk about where people should be looking if there is contradicting information?
Yeah, the Hughes fire, a little bit of good news there. There are no structures damaged that we know of. There were many people were evacuated, but my understanding is I think those evacuation orders are going to be lifted relatively soon. I think for now, I think the news is sort of positive around the Hughes fire. We're hearing that, fire has a really good handle, even though, they don't have the fire contained. There's, I think the Hughes fire is kind of going in a positive direction. So I think because it's sort of new, we are monitoring the situation. And if there's, smoke advisories that need to be disseminated by public health, that'll happen.
Additionally, during the Hughes fire, the wind was primarily blowing toward the west, which is into Ventura County.
Okay, so also know which county you're in, so where you should be getting your county information from. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys take a rest for a minute. I'm gonna turn to Deborah quickly. We got a question if there will be vacuums with HEPA filters made available. That was one of the instructions for how to clean up ash and dust indoors.
That's a great question. I have not gotten that request as of yet. So what we will do is we will raise it to the public health leadership team, similar to the air purifiers, see if we can get access to vacuums with HEPA filters. Right now, it's not on our supply list, but it doesn't mean that it can't be found. So thanks for raising that, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. And then I think there's another question that we don't yet have an answer to, but want to make sure that we raise it here. What help can be offered to schools no longer able to operate that were completely destroyed? They're speaking about there's a lot of families that are looking for care as well as staff.
I'm so grateful that you asked that question. I'm going to bring on my partner in success, Christina Alvarado, to help with this. We know that there are both displaced families. There are families moving. We have some childcare that is no longer there. We have some workforce that's been displaced, and the Child Care Alliance is taking the lead on both of those factors. So, Christina?
Yes, I know there are some immediate pop-ups. They may be full. I know the YMCA is doing free childcare. Parks and Rec, as Deb mentioned earlier, is doing some as well. Our biggest goal is to work with the agencies that have been impacted, primarily Options for Learning and Connections, to identify where are the big gaps. I know some centers have burned down. We want to see if we can have some classrooms opened up at Pacific Oaks College for the Pasadena or the Eaton fire. And we don't want to lose anybody in the workforce. That's our goal. We've already, all of we've been impacted through COVID and all other stuff that has hit us. So our goal is to keep as many of the providers in the workforce. We're still assessing. Some family childcare homes are trying to provide childcare out of where they've been relocated to. Some are saying we just can't do this anymore. So we're assessing all of that, but our goal is to try and coordinate and match up the need with the availability. We also have families that are living outside of the area. So we hear for some reason people have gone to Torrance. Maybe there's places available there. But just different parts of the county, and we're working with our partner R&Rs to help families find childcare if they had to relocate to another spot and they still have their jobs. We also know that a lot of the families that we work with in subsidy have lost their jobs because the places where they work are gone. So there's a lot to work on, but we're trying to do a lot of coordination to address those needs.
And I'm just going to put a plug for Christina. If no one knows how to reach the Child Care Alliance, Christina, what number should they call?
Oh God, I never know it by heart. Hold on, let me open up our website. You can go to ccala.net, and there's our website, and you can click on Find Childcare and enter the city or zip code, and that'll connect you directly with the Resource and Referral Agency. Or you can also call 888-922-4453. There's a menu there, but if you press that you need childcare and punch in your zip code, it'll connect you automatically to the Resource and Referral Agency that you need to reach.
Great. Thank you. And then in our last minute, I'm going to call up Christopher.
Sorry, I thought I turned it on and it turned it on and off.
No worries. There was a couple clarifying questions. If you could explain which agency you're with.
I am with Community Care Licensing, the Child Care Program Office Division.
Thank you. And then there were a couple acronyms that we were asking for clarification on, RO and LPA.
RO is Regional Office. This would be the office that oversees the family home daycare or the child daycare center in that area. So we have the El Segundo Regional Office, the El Segundo North Regional Office. LPA, that acronym is for Licensing Program Analyst. These are the individuals that go into the facilities and actually conduct the inspections on the programs. So when we say LPAs, we're talking about those actual analysts that are in the field that do the follow-up or inspections on the home daycares and daycare centers.
Okay. And then there was just a clarifying question of, you were talking about the updates about meeting with licensing analysts. Could you explain how people will find out about those? Should they be looking at their email, or how will they be getting the notifications?
That I'm not specifically clear on yet. Ideally, again, what we're looking to do is partner with Resource and Referral, or we could possibly, if we're able to get into a community event, might be at a FEMA station, could be at something within the community. We are working on trying to do either a follow-up with the local Resource and Referral to notify providers, or see what type of email opportunities we have to notify providers. But ideally, these will be in conjunction or partnership with the Resource and Referral departments is our goal. So we would want to utilize their opportunity to connect with their partners to move forward and let the public know.
Okay, thank you. I know that there were a lot more questions, but we were running up against our time. I really want to apologize for some of the interpretation issues that we were having. The Zoom feature was not cooperating with us today. Thank you all for your patience. We'll make sure that we get materials in Spanish as soon as possible. And again, I know there were more questions that we weren't able to answer today, but know that we have them. We are working on putting an FAQ together that will have the questions and answers. We'll get that as soon as possible. Please continue to reference childcare.lacounty.gov/resources/#fire. You could also just go to OAECE's website, and there is a banner about the wildfire emergency that you can click on. We will be back again next Thursday. If you registered for this event, you will get an updated registration link. For next week's event, same place, same time, new registration link. You will get that And we want to thank you all for your effort and courage in this time. We really appreciate what you're doing, and we're here to support you. So please let us know if there's anything else we can be doing, what your needs are, what you're seeing in the field. So really, please stay safe. We're with you, and we'll see you next week. Bye.